Hi, Hannah. Thank you so much for coming on today, because this is going to give so much of an insight to other people on your own personal experience and what you went through and where you're at now. So give us a little bit of background of just what you went through, your experience when you got your in the arm.
So I reluctantly got it, but I did. I got the first one because I felt that pressure to do it. And I got the normal vaccine side effects initially. So I got the like hot and cold and like body aches and that sort of thing. And then about 4 to 5 days later, it started getting so much worse. All my vision went quite blurry and I got really bad headaches. And I just slept 24/7 every day for a few weeks. And then it got to the point where my partner couldn't even wake me up when he got home from work. So I ended up going into A&E and they didn't know what was going on and they just assumed it was a flu. But I know that's not a flu. And
did you have any flu-like symptoms that they could call it a flu?
No, so no like cough or cold or anything like that.
Okay. And especially with your background being a nurse, you do know the difference as well. Yeah. And what so where did that leave you basically on how you were feeling? How did you get through that part?
I was deep down, I was scared, like to the people close to me. I felt fearful for my life because I couldn't explain it and it was something I hadn't experienced before. And I was afraid I wouldn't come out of it. But I did all the things you can think of for your health. So I did like the vitamin C infusions and all the vitamins, and I tried to rebuild my body strength back. But there was part of my spiritual connection that was just not the same.
Yeah, that's where I was going to touch on with you on that, was just trying to get the words out for you, is that when you mentioned about your spiritual side, was there feeling of a disconnection to your spiritual side? Because we have done healing with you a few times prior, and so you know the difference on your spiritual side and how you can uplift and from there. So going through this experience, what did it feel for you afterwards? What was that experience in your spiritual connection?
Fear. So it was like a low vibration for me and a loss of hope. And my intuition I normally have just wasn't there. My vibrational connection to people and things was just severed. It was just a different experience for me.
Well, that word you just said, severed. So let's touch on that, because this is what I'm noticing. And with a severed, did you, and you also mentioned that a disconnection, because I know you're incredibly intuitive and you're very, very highly spiritual. So did you find more of it that a numbness, or that you just couldn't read, or more of a blockage? Where were you on that one?
Numb, like an empty vessel. Just I felt like, yeah, like for days I just didn't feel like my spirit was in my body. I was just lying in bed empty. And that was probably the scariest experience for me, being a spiritual person.
That's powerful. Okay, so what made you? No, it's actually I picked up on you. I was just going to say, what made you connect with me? I remember that you came into my thought pattern really strong one day, and so I reached out and connected. And considering you're in Auckland, I'm in Wellington, but I had a really strong desire just to see how you were. I remember texting you, and without asking anything else, because you said, no, I'm great. And I'm thinking, I'm not picking that. Those words don't resonate with what I'm picking from you. And so I said, I'm going to ask you one quick question. Did you? And you said yes. The floodgates came through and I said, I am getting this intense headache. Well, it wasn't even a headache for me, but it's exactly the same when I tune into somebody that has.
Yeah.
And what did it open up for you when I acknowledged that is what I was feeling for you through the phone?
My intuition, I was in denial of. I knew deep down, I knew I wasn't okay, but I was trying to convince myself with the power of my mind that I was going to be okay. I didn't want to feel the fear I was feeling, but it was just denial. I wasn't okay. And when you tapped into that, my soul just like it connected again, and I just knew I needed to figure that out more.
Yeah. And just by me giving you the reassurance, because I knew I went out and intuitively connected to your soul, but I could see the disconnection. And so we spoke about it because I couldn't get you straight down to Wellington. And how many weeks? It's a couple of weeks now we've been waiting. And so we decided to do a retrieval via the internet, well, messenger. But the question, I know that because we were waiting for you to be able to physically be here, I spiritually could connect to you, but you had such a will to hold on. So describe that.
Yeah, I feel like from when you connected in with me and I knew that I wasn't okay, I lost that sense of denial. I just held on for dear life, basically, with my soul to the connection I still had here, because the thought of completely losing that, it would just be devastating.
Because I know there was one night I messaged you because I connected to you on your emotional state, just to give you the reassurance that I literally had wrapped a cord around you. It was a rope. I actually remember my guide said, can you just message her that you've put a big rope, and I pulled and I strapped it around me. And I called you like you were holding on to me like a chimpanzee to my side.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, no, I'm not letting go. I've got you. How did that make you feel till we could try and get to see you physically?
I could just hang in there. Even with that severed connection, it just gave me that hope and that reassurance that I needed to just hang on.
Okay.
Basically.
So what have you done as in vitamins and, while we've been trying to wait for that time, what did you do just to give your body the boost?
Should I get my box of everything I take?
Yes, that'd be great. Because this is another thing, is that we work with the physical as well, because the body itself needs to have the nourishment and the strength, as well as we're bringing through the spirit back to her body. So she showed me what she was taking and we added to it. And just to give her, just to build her immune system, because that's the most important part with this at the moment. And so here she comes. Okay. Here's her little toolbox.
I'm not going to go through everything because this is like so much, but there's like one box of all the goodies I take.
Yes.
And, I just dropped them. Another box.
Wow.
And I take this one, so it's got like kind of iron boost.
Yes. It's the iron. Yes. Yep.
And apple cider vinegar.
Yes.
And then this is my new favorite one. It's the sea moss jelly.
Yes. Now talk about that one.
So that one's just good for everything, especially fighting off any kind of illness or inflammation in the body. Okay.
I say what we're going to have to do is do a little bit of a list. after this of what you've got there, the sea moss as well. It'll be really good, because yeah, it just helps other people knowing that, well, this is what you're taking and what's helped you as well. And going from there, so yeah, randomly just checked in to see if you're free today, because we know it's going to be a little bit longer that you're going to be in Auckland.
Yeah.
And okay, so for me, when I was connecting to you spiritually on the healing, as soon as what was really amazing for me with you, compared to our other lovely lady that we did the Soul Retrieval, is that I actually had to go out and find her. Your will was so powerful. You stepped in front of me, and it was like, great. But as soon as I telepathically put the healing on you, straight away, the pains in my arms and the pure strength, and you had that same intensity of you're like, your soul feels like concrete, and that's not normal. And if you recall, that's what I was saying. Wow, this is really sore. This is, yeah. But once I got to move the energy through, tell us how you started feeling from there and what you were going through.
I mean, I've had multiple healings from you before, so it was a different experience to anything I've had. Like previous healings, I would tune into where you were
Working,
healing, and I'd feel the energy of my body in different areas. This was kind of different. It was a lot harder for me to really initially pick up on that. I just felt heavy. But then definitely, like, trying to think what the first thing was I felt. It was like a pulsating around my head.
Yep.
And then I felt a lift, and then it was around my like my womb and my stomach. The energy there started to expand again.
Yes.
I felt that was probably, but to get to that point, it was a lot harder.
Exactly. And we definitely note is that we have done it this way before many times, because it's very hard for you to be down in Wellington to receive it. So straight away, I know your energy, I know how you work, and as soon as you know you have the healing, boom, that's it, boom, you're feeling everything.
Yeah.
Today it was like you were concrete, the energy, and there was one point that I was working with your soul and your wings, and it honestly felt like an autumn leaf I had to rejuvenate. And you mentioned that they were like crinkly.
Like crunchy.
Yes. And it was like old stuck energy, and we had to push the energy through. And it just took ages just to even get that through, which it's not possible. I've never seen it that way. And the most amazing thing is that I saw your physical body, I saw your soul. I had to work with your physical self, and it was your physical self that I had to rejuvenate again before I could get you. And normally you can feel me doing all the work, and it took you a while. And that was because it felt like concrete and we couldn't get it to move. Once we got the energy flowing, then I got you to concentrate on your soul and bringing it in. And that's when we went half. You could feel this part. And that part felt heavy. And yeah, talk from where we went from there and what you went through.
I remember when you got to the point where my soul was with you and you're working on my body, and it felt like a zip coming down, but there was a blockage. But then the energy shifted, and I could feel the energy growing inside me, but there was still this like Jack in the Box feeling.
Yes,
yes.
Restriction. You had massive restriction. That's right, because the third eye, remember, we stirred up the Kundalini, we stirred the energy, we were rebuilding you and the connection, but it was like this massive disconnection in your third eye to the universal energy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you said, I feel restricted. I feel like, and then you said you had this massive headache.
Yeah. And I've never experienced that before in a healing. That was so different.
No. Yes, because it was literally disconnected. So then I had to come up through and open, connect you out to the universe, open that third eye. And then I said, right, let's get going. And we built you up. And then it was like, you literally fired up on all cylinders. And I told you to push it out, push the Jack in the Box, the lid. And then, describe what that was all, what you went through on that.
Then I just felt like I was flying. And then I was just back in my body. It felt like I was home. And all my senses, like everything sounded more crisp. My vision was clearer. And my hands have been so cold lately, and they just got so hot and my body started sweating. I was just warm again. But yeah, it was magical.
That's brilliant. And that is a true indication that you're back home. You are literally inside your body instead of being separated into the two. And what we did, we realigned, and your body just, with all that energy that we pushed through. And just one of the things I remember you saying, I'm home. Yeah. And I could literally feel it through just seeing you. And the one thing you did say, all your senses, your intuitive side connected, your vision, because you were saying you've been really foggy.
So foggy, and everything just feels clear now. I was actually really just worried about my eyesight as well. It was just like this big, heavy fog. It's gone. It's just everything's clear.
That is magical. That is pure magic. And definitely the difference with working with both of you. And I think it was also the prepping you instead of like the last time I did the healing on the other lass. It was like straight in, boom. This way we built you up to get you prepared, and you've been taking the nutrients. We were working with your soul, and then it was like D-Day, that was a let's do it.
Yeah.
But you can feel the energy coming from you. I'm actually looking at you, and you've got such a little quirky energy just pulsating from your heart chakra as well. And considering of what I've been connecting with you for the last 2 weeks to where you are now, and you look like an angel back in her body. You literally look fabulous.
Thank you.
So this is a magic. So how are you feeling now, knowing you're home now?
I'm just flooded with gratitude and emotion. It's incredible, because it was touch and go for me, and I just wasn't sure, what could happen. But it's having experienced that pain after the to how I feel now. I'm so grateful. I actually feel stronger now. It's cool.
You actually, that's one of the things I can definitely say, that when I was just finishing the healing with you, I have never, ever, ever seen you so powerful, because you had a determination. And I think that's what has helped you as well. And given you, with you having that determination, you've also played a huge part in the retrieval. And it was just the knowing that you were coming back home. But home for you now is, so it's going to be watch this space with you now, because I can see energetically there's a strength. There's a pure strength that you've got that you have never had on this level, because of what you've had to tap and hold on to on every level. And I think it's just magical. Is there anything else you want to, just express on where, I think there was one more thing, and I'm just trying to remember. It was, you had the gratitude. Yeah, is there anything else you want to say before we finish? Wrap it up.
I feel like that covers it. Yeah, I'm just so grateful that I'm home, really.
Oh my gosh, yes. And this is going to help so many other people just to understand what you went through. And that's right. I remember what I was going to say. When you said that the day that you went in, all you could think was, my face was in your your vision. And that was on an intuitive side. And looking back at it now, you can see the bigger picture, what your guides were saying to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in conflict sitting there and I was ignoring my intuition.
Yeah. Yeah. But you had gone through, you were not well at the time. And don't beat yourself up on that. You put the SOS out to me prior, because you had actually had pumped in my head, but I was just so busy with so many things that you had come in, and then it got to a stage, it's like, I need to make connection. I just got to see where you're at. So thank you so much for sharing your experience, because I think this is going to help. And keep doing what you're doing. We're going to keep an eye on you as well, and taking the minerals and the vitamins, and I'll get you to write a wee list up so we can add that with it as well. But thank you for sharing. Thank you, darling.
Thank you for healing.
Love you.
Love
See you later. Bye.